James Baldwin has this very famous quote that I heard last year, and I've been hearing it a little bit. It says, "To be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage almost all the time." Right? And I have some questions about this rage and maybe his perspective on certain things, but I just want to be able to communicate myself as well as I can, right? The first question I have is, did he think that white people would recognize the fear they carry for black people? Let me start this off by saying slavery, racism, segregation, and white supremacy. All four of them to me fall under three categories: greed, narcissism, and fear. They all fall under those categories. You can switch and you can mix and match, switch and swag them however you really want. It doesn't really matter to me. They all fall under those three categories, right? And when you have people who carry this ideology, right, and believe in the treatment of people because of their skin color, do you think they can change? And did he think they would change? Because it takes a certain level of, I want to say, an unmet expectation for you to feel a reaction of something. Because to me, the rage sounds like an unmet expectation. Let me explain this, right? Black people think, and matter of fact, it's not even a think, it should be a fact that we should be treated as people. Because no matter the skin color, we are still people. It's a fact. Some people differ, don't believe in this fact for whatever the fuck reason because of race, right? And if you look across history, you don't have to be the smartest person to know. They will defend this fucked up piece of history for their life of it until they die. Literally, they will defend this piece of history until the day that they croak off this planet. And because you know they will never meet the expectation of actually, as a consensus, meeting the actual expectation of treating us the right way, what is the point in getting mad? Because if somebody I know is going to continuously let me down and not see my point of view on things and continue with their bullheadish way of thinking, why do I even, what's the point in me even getting mad? And maybe this me sounds too docile and I don't want to sound coonish, but I can't really understand it. And it really goes back to the main question I was asking, like, does he think they would recognize the fear? Or a better question, would you think they would change their ways? Because he knows probably better than me, with all the amount of research and studying he's done, that white people have a very long history of never changing. Ever. They started off on fuck shit, and guess how most of them end? On fuck shit. They have continuously, across the course of history, been on fuck shit. So why did he, in my opinion, why did he believe that they would change? I don't really get it, right? There was a man that was lynched in Mississippi either this month or last month, right? A black man was lynched in Mississippi in the big 2025. I would like to know his opinion on things. And anybody feel free to comment and give your opinion on this too, because I really want to know. Because I'm feeling a bit odd on how I feel. Which deserves the bigger reaction or the priority, in my opinion, right? Just a question. The actual lynching or the potential reaction based off of the lynching? Let me preface this by saying, in my opinion, matter of fact, fuck this my opinion shit. Fact. Every racist walks the fine line between acting out on their racism or maintaining the ideology of racism. It's one or the other, right? And there's certain people who are racist but have never acted out on it. They're just very racist, right? So with this lynching, and there's also, and of course, there's a group of people who, they may be tethering on the line to where they want to act out on it, but they're not. They don't know. With this lynching, will there be an uprising or a growth in the lynching in America in 2025 based off of this reaction? Meaning, the people who are balancing on that line of racism, of between maintaining it and actually reacting, will those people who were in the middle and didn't know which side to pick, will they actually react based off of this? Or does the actual lynching that took place, does that take the main priority? Because both of them are very important. But to me, the scariest part of this is the second half, the reaction of the action. Because you don't know the limit. You don't know how many lynchings they may be based off of this. You really have no idea. And I'm not saying that the first part is less important. No, they're both important. But to me, the reaction of this is the scariest part to me. And this may sound docile as well, but which one should have the most immediate action? Because the man is already, I don't want to say this sound bad, but the man has already been lynched. There's nothing we can really do about it except make it a problem. Because to really be honest, I could very well be wrong on this, but white people didn't think slavery was a problem until people actually made it a problem. Until black people actually started showing that it's a problem, they probably would have kept slavery going for as long as possible. We could have been enslaved right now if nobody said anything, because they didn't see it as a problem. Some people might have, but the overall consensus didn't see it as a problem. Nothing is a problem until it's actually made into one, unless it's verbalized and unless it's actually brought to people's attention. So with this lynching being brought to our attention, right, and it's a problem, two of them arise, like I've mentioned: the actual lynching and the reaction. If you're handed both cases, let's say you're an FBI agent and you're handed both cases. Actually, that's not the right way. FBI don't do shit for niggas. Let's say you're an agency of some sort that's meant to help black people in this very fantasy land we live in, right? And you're giving these two cases a lynching, and you're giving maybe a report on activity, right? Races in the area and what they're doing, right? Which one do you think you would act on first? The activity, or just the surveillance of what's everything going on and some people who may in the future act on their racism, or the actual lynching that's already happened and the proven action of their racism? Because me verbalizing out loud, even though I think the second half, the latter part, should take precedent, the first part should be the first thing that takes precedent, because it already happened. Somebody already acted out on their racism, so we need to work on that now. The future part, man, that's in the future. It hasn't even happened yet. We can worry about that when it happens. But right now, we need to worry about this lynching.